Welcome back to another podcast. This is Comments from the Couch, the Squash Show. The first time I've actually been able to introduce it as its proper name. What do you think to that, Cameron?
That sounded good.
Thanks,
I like
mate.
that. I like that.
I liked it a lot. I like the name. I actually love the name. It's had a lot of good feedback, which is fantastic. Big shout out to Joe Lee, John Lee, as some people call him. But Joe has unfortunately been injured for quite a long time now, but he is a very good editor and he loves playing around with a little bit of music. So thank you very much, Joe, for editing the first few podcasts and inserting a little bit of music for us, jazzing it up a little bit. So yeah, shout out to Joe. We're currently in Sweden. We're in Cameron's hotel room in Sweden.
Are.
He's got a suite here because he's got his whole family here, so we've got plenty of room.
Yep, plenty of room for the baby to run around and, well, not run around. I mean, she's
Not yet, mate.
Not even crawling. It is a nice little ensuite, though.
Good. Yeah, I can see smelly kit everywhere. Anyway, we're in Sweden. Didn't go our way last night. We both lost in the quarterfinals. Unfortunately, I lost to a very, very informed Simon Rosner. He played exceptionally well again last night, and you lost to Tarek Momin.
Yeah, fellow TOC finalist against Simon last week,
Yeah.
2 weeks ago.
Boys are in form.
Yeah, couldn't quite get it done. I had a good start in the match, but yeah, a bit like Simon, he's sharp at the moment. A couple of tough prospects there we came up against.
Yeah, and they're playing each other today actually, which should be a great match.
Who's your money on?
Simon.
Simon? Well, I'm
Yeah.
going Tarek. Tarek got me, so...
Simon's playing really well. He beat me, so he's playing really well. So yeah, welcome back. This is obviously podcast number 3 for us, Comments from the Couch number 3. We have a few topics today which we're going to discuss. The first is money in sport, and obviously talking about squash within that. The other topic we have is technology in sport. Recent little advances in technology, especially in squash. We've been trialling a few things behind the scenes, and hopefully we can give you a little bit more of an insight into what we've been trialling. I hope everyone's interested in that because a lot of other sports are using technology to move their game forward, and we're definitely trying to do that. And I'd like to discuss that and see how that's going to affect us going forward. The first thing though is obviously you're looking at me like you've got some really tough questions for me to ask again.
Oh, mate, I've got some great questions lined up today. I hope everyone enjoyed the questions last podcast. Let's kick it off. It's a good way to kick off the show, and a few listeners' questions. All right, number 1, from off Twitter, Jamie Maynell.
I never know with your pronunciation.
I'm definitely
mate.
pronouncing that. Sorry, Jamie. Jamie wants to know, what is your favourite or least favourite squash match? # comments from the couch.
Oh, he's hashtagged it as well.
You got a hashtag
Got a
comments from the
hashtag,
couch.
yeah. So he's talking about my personal favourite.
Yeah, do you have a...
Or worst match.
Or
I
worst?
don't want to be negative on here, I don't think. I mean,
Does any come to mind?
my favourite match to be a part of or to
Up to
have
you.
watched?
I'm sure Jamie would be interested either way.
The one, I mean, an absolutely amazing match which sticks in my mind only because I was talking about it yesterday was the Ramy and Shabagi World Final from Qatar.
What a match.
That was honestly one of the best matches I've ever seen in squash, but in the last, especially in the more recent era. Fantastic match. Both really deserved to win. It was great, and
It had everything, that match.
yeah, it had everything. It had some amazing rallies, both of them nearly winning at different times, and the quality of squash was phenomenal. They're playing at 300 miles an hour for the whole match.
Yeah.
That'll be my answer. I don't know if you've got any stick in your mind.
That, after you mentioned that, I mean, that's up there. One of the best matches I've seen as well. Probably, it's an interesting match. So I played good mate Stuart Boswell quite a few years ago. We played the final of the Berkshire Open over in America there. And we were sharing a room all week, practicing every day in the morning. Then we go down to the club, play our match. We're on opposite sides of the draw. We've made it through to the final to play each other. we've had a practice hit that morning. We're like, well,
why not?
Yeah, it's
why
not
not
like
break the tradition?
Yeah, we're not going to surprise each other with how we're going to hit the ball. So we've had a hit, had some lunch, gone on court, started playing our match. It was a pretty good match. It was 1-1 and a tough third game. Boswell took it to go 2-1. I'm thinking, okay, just get a good start here. I want to start well and just sort of put the pressure on and take it to a fifth. Next thing you know, he bagels me.
What?
In the fourth game. He's 2-1, I'm like, yep, just get a good start here. Come on, Pilley, just get. Next thing you know, he's like 5-love, and I'm like, it's not the start I'm after. I'm like, righto, come on, just get a couple of points here. 8-love, I'm like, don't get bageled. What? 9-love, 10-love, I'm like, you are absolutely kidding me.
Why are you bringing this up?
This is the worst. This is my least favourite.
That's your least favourite. I thought we were talking about favourite match. I was like,
No.
I love this match where I got bageled in the fourth.
Good tournament, bad finish.
Yeah.
And he's bageled me, and I'm just like, that's got to be the worst. That's my worst finish to a match ever. Yeah. Final bagel. Not good.
Thanks for coming.
Cheers, Boswell.
Yeah.
Cheers. Okay, moving on. Let's see. Now, this is a question that I'm sure you've been asked quite a few times over the years. A few people have written this in with hashtag comments from the couch. What colour grip do you use on your racket? And what string tension do you have in your rackets, and why? Why that string tension?
Good question. Good questions. I use white grips only. I find them to be the tackiest and stay the tackiest for longest, I guess. And I like the feeling of them.
Yep.
It's also to do with the feeling. It's weird, they use different dyes, I think, in different grips.
Yeah.
And therefore, there's like green, blue, black ones. The darker colour ones tend to go slidey or slippy a bit quicker, I find.
Yep. Have you always been white, or have you changed?
Yeah, I've changed. I think I used yellow for a little while, but I've used white for a very long time.
Yep. String tension.
I was going to say, unfortunately, I still have to buy my grips, but there we go. We'll gloss over that. The life of a squash player.
Any companies out there?
I know anyone want to? Yeah, hook me up. String tension. I think I'm 29 or 28, depending on
the machine.
No, depending on whether I can remember. I used to be one, and then I changed to the other. My dad knows because he does all of my stringing.
Okay.
But I think I'm 28 now.
Okay, 28.
Yeah, I think I made it from 29 to 28. I made it just a touch looser.
Yep.
But I like it quite tight.
Yeah.
You compare it to like Greg.
What's Greg?
I don't know. It's ridiculous.
I think
he does it in kgs, but I think in pounds it's like what?
I think it's like 18 pounds.
16? 18 pounds? Something like that. Someone said that.
We can get Greg on. He can explain it all to you.
Yeah. There's a method behind the madness, I would say. It
I'm
obviously
sure.
works all right for him.
Yeah, it seems to go right.
But what's yours?
Well, I used to... Well, on the grip, I'm exactly the same as you. I'm a white grip man.
Okay, yeah.
For the same reasons. Tension, I remember when I first started out as a pro, for some reason... Well, I know the reason. So my ex-coach, Roddy Martin, he used to string his rackets at about 32, 33.
Oh, wow.
I was like, Roddy Martin strings it at 32, 33. Yeah, I'm going the same. Might even go tighter. So I was at about 31, 32 for years, and then started experimenting a little bit, dropping it, taking it up again. So at the moment, I'm on 25.
Okay, so you've dropped down quite a lot.
Yeah, 25 pounds. I've been there for probably 3 years now.
How hard do you reckon you could hit it if you had Greg's tension? Serious question. Because it's a lot looser and therefore technically going to have more power.
Yeah,
massive. Do you think that would make a difference to your world record? Serious question. Possibly. I know the times I've had a crack at the world record, I've tested my strings and I've taken the loosest string. Okay, yeah, which makes sense. Yeah, I mean, it's a massive trampoline effect, isn't it? I'll keep that in mind next time, actually. Get one strung. There we go. Try it out. I'll just grab Greg's racket and... Get it up past 180, mate. All right, moving on. Last question from Jake Fountain. Jakey boy? Fountain. Actual fountain. No, I want to know if these are actual names or... obviously Twitter throws up a few funny usernames, but it might be real. He might be having a laugh. I don't know. Fountain. Do you say Fountain? I say Fountain. Yeah, Fountain. Yeah. Jakey boy wants to know, give us an insight
to what players are like off court. Must be some funny stories kicking about. # comments from the couch. Well, can I just say that throughout these podcasts, Jakey, stories will be popping up here and there. So, but I mean, if any pop to mind at the moment, Bobby.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's a good lad, aren't they? Most of the time,
yeah.
Off the court, on court, not always the same. But the one, I mean, there's loads of good stories. I'm just trying to think. I want to keep it clean as much as I can, and therefore I'm struggling. But one that pops to mind is actually a little travel story from when I first started out on tour. I was travelling through Canada, playing 3 tournaments in a row, and we were travelling, I can't remember where it was from, this is 10, 12 years ago, travelling from, say, I think it was Winnipeg to Vancouver. Myself, I was with a fellow Aussie, Aaron Frankham.
Frankham, yep.
Good lad. And we were flying direct. So it was about 2.5 hours from memory.
Yep.
And we had a flight in the morning. And the day before, there was a fellow traveller who travelled all the way with us, Jesse Engelbrecht, another great lad. And he was flying the day before us.
Okay.
So he left, but he chose a cheaper flight. He wanted to save himself like $50 or something.
Yeah.
So he went via Edmonton, like another airport. So he chose this other route. So we sort of waved him off. So he was off to the airport the day before. We had dinner, obviously slept and got up early and got our flight the next day. Got to the airport in Vancouver, and the guy who was picking us up from the tournament said, hang on guys, you're going to have to wait about half an hour. Just because I want to wait because we've got a few more players coming in. We're like, yeah, of course, this happens all the time, fine.
Yeah,
Don't want to go there and back. Anyway, who are we waiting for? He goes, actually, it's just one player, Jesse Engelbrecht. And we're like,
no way.
Yeah, we're like, nah, mate, you're wrong because he flew yesterday.
Yeah.
Like,
he's already here.
Yeah, he flew ages ago. Like, he's not. He must be here already. No. It says he's arriving in like half an hour from Edmonton. We're like, what? Really? Anyway, turns out Jesse rocks up. He'd booked this flight with an overnight stay. So he was in the airport overnight in Edmonton. He had like a 24-hour trip for like a 2.5-hour flight.
That's brutal.
So he left the night before us. He arrived after us on an internal flight.
That is brutal.
It was brilliant. He lost first round. I mean, there's no surprise.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
But yeah,
when you're starting out, I mean, if you can save that 50 quid, you're going to save that 50 quid.
Of course you can. I mean, he probably regretted it.
Probably spent 200 quid in the airport. But, you know. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, that wraps up the listeners' questions.
So on to the first topic, which is money in sport. After seeing a recent tweet by Simon Rosner, actually, that mentioned, quoted Djokovic and Federer saying that they wanted more money. Tennis players want a bigger share of the Grand Slam revenues and want more money for all the players. This got us obviously thinking, hang on, squash doesn't get much money. We don't earn anywhere near what tennis players earn, and they still want more money. So what's your thoughts, firstly, on the tennis situation? And secondly, what's your thoughts on squash? Do we get paid enough? Is it market value, what we get paid?
Yeah.
Do we deserve more just because we train as hard as anyone else?
We could talk about this for a while, couldn't we? It's, like when I saw Rosner's tweet and then I actually didn't realise Djokovic had made a couple of statements, so I sort of, had a look and sort of see what he was saying. And, I can see where he's coming from. He wants a bigger share of the revenue brought in, by the players for these Grand Slams. So for a non-Grand Slam tournament, the players do get a bigger share from the revenue raised. Yeah. And with the Grand Slams, it's a lot less. So it's a tough one. I can see where he's coming from. At the same time, you have a look at the money that these guys earn, and it's not peanuts. First round in the Australian Open, if you lose first round, 128-man draw, you're getting $50,000 US.
I know, that's a lot.
So that's pretty decent. On the flip side, if they're getting less share of the revenue compared to their other tournaments, yeah, you might be a little bit annoyed, and you might have something to say about that. It's tough. I mean, what do you think on that?
I think they're right, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got a point. It just because they earn lots of money already doesn't necessarily mean they should be not entitled to earning more if they believe that their value is higher. I think when people say, yeah, but squash players work just as hard and therefore we deserve just as much or more money. Of course, I mean, we do work as hard and we do train as hard, but at the end of the day, more people want to watch tennis. Yeah. And tennis brings in more money economically than squash, so therefore they should get paid more.
Yeah.
My question would be, how do we get more money for squash? How do we make it more exciting? How do we bring in more sponsors? How do we increase our prize money? And, not worry about other sports, because I've actually got some stats that I did a little bit of research.
Yep.
And I've got a little list and a comparison.
Okay.
So I actually was interested when I did this to see how much prize money I earned in 2017, because I can look on my own personal profile and find out how much prize money. So how much prize money do you think I earned in 2017? I'm number 15 in the world. Just in US dollars. Just purely prize money from PSA.
From PSA. Okay, if I just had to have a little guess here, number 15 in the world on the PSA World Tour, I will say around between 60 and 70,000 US.
Flipping hell, mate. Well, I'm not driving a Porsche or anything like that. How much money do you think I'm earning? Come on. Okay. That was a bit high.
That's a bit high. 50 grand.
Okay, it's unfortunate. It's 39,263. I had a good year last year, mate.
Jeez, we don't earn that much, do we?
No. Do you know what? I was doing it with Rosner last night, going through the stats because he loves the stats, and I was a little bit surprised. I actually thought it was more than that, because then when you take the tax off as well at source, you don't actually get that much. It's probably more like 30,000 going into the bank, and then obviously you pay tax at home, but then expenses out of that, flights, etc., hotels, you suddenly get very depressed. Realising, actually, I wonder why I'm struggling a little bit. And I'm 15 in the world. Yeah. When you compare it to other sports, I did a little comparison. Here, have a guess at this. So golf is obviously massive. Massive. But just how massive is it? So I did 15 in the world for golf, and then realised that Daryl Hatton, who's number 15, plays on 2 tours. So it's a little bit difficult for me to work out because I couldn't be bothered to go through the stats. No. So I did Brian Harman, who plays on the PGA Tour. He's number 20. Okay. How much did he earn in 2017?
2017, 20 in the world. Wow.
Just in prize money. Just in US dollars prize money for 2017.
I'll say...
I'm going to have to push you for time.
5 mil.
5 mil, not bad. Good guess, actually. 4.39 million.
That's insane. That's insane.
Just in prize money alone.
Yeah. A top 20 golfer on playing on the one tour, raking in just under 5 mil.
Yeah.
That's decent.
We actually went all the way down. You have to go down, I can't remember where it's to. I think you have to go down to 157 maybe, or something like that to get outside the million. No, it was 108 to get outside $1 million.
For the year?
For the year.
Wow.
Yeah, and you have to go down to 257 to get outside $250,000.
Wow. That puts it into perspective, doesn't it?
Yeah, for golf. And then tennis. So, Wawrinka, 15 in the world. Yeah. Tennis, how much did he earn in 2017?
Jeez. I don't even want to think about this. I'm getting a bit depressed. A few mil.
3.1 million prize money. But...
Same ranking as you.
Same ranking. But I went through and tried to find out badminton. Yep. And I think, if I was looking at the right stats, there's a guy called Anders Antonsen. Who's Danish. Yep.
Yes.
Oh, you know him?
Yes, I know him.
Of course you know him.
I know my Danish badminton players.
How much did he earn in 2017? If these stats are correct.
I think those guys are more around our prize money as you go down. So
Yeah.
I'm going to say around 70 grand.
Not bad guess. $50,000, I
50.
think.
Okay. Yeah.
And then table tennis, from what I could understand, again was similar.
Okay.
From their size tournaments are similar to ours. They're about $150,000 prize fund.
Okay.
Ish.
Yeah.
For most table tennis and badminton. I was trying to give a comparison with other racket sports. So we're not doing too bad because they're Olympic sports, remember?
Yeah. Yeah.
But we can definitely do better.
For sure.
But do I think it's fair that we get paid what we get paid? I actually do, to be honest. I think, there's no doubt everyone at PSA is always trying to make the game better and trying to introduce more money into the sport. But do we deserve more money? No, I don't think we do, because of how hard we work and how hard the sport is. We obviously we deserve more recognition, I think. Definitely, that's for one. There's no excuse for the lack of media coverage we get, especially being someone that's English in the UK. The media is an embarrassment sometimes towards how they sort of view squash and how they should support. We were world team champions for however many years, and we barely got any coverage. Barely got any coverage, really. And we should be celebrating success in your own country. And if the media doesn't want to celebrate it just because they, at the end of the day, it comes down to the bottom line, does it sell papers? Well, I think it might, because it's a success story.
And it's not the champions of a national league or a national comp. Like, you are world champions.
Yeah.
That should be somewhere on the back page.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. It's interesting, those stats you brought up, because, I know tennis players, one thing they sort of, I've heard a few people sort of, defend the tennis players when they say, they got to take their coaches and they got to take their physios and their whole team. Well, you don't have to.
Yeah.
That's their choice, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you could count on one hand how many squash players take their coach to tournaments.
Yeah.
Purely because it's expensive.
Yeah.
You've got all these extra expenses with physios, trainers, coaches. And the reason is squash players don't take, because it is expensive.
Yeah.
So I think when people say, tennis players have to bring their team, well, I just think, no, you don't.
You don't have to. Just because everyone else doesn't mean you have to.
Yeah.
We don't do it in squash, and we all seem to get away with it.
Yeah.
It sort of will bring us on nicely to the other topic eventually, but technology within sport is a second topic. But when the players don't have coaches, you see them in between games looking at their mobile phone to get advice, because remotely someone's watching. Because you can't afford for them to travel here.
Exactly.
So they're remotely watching and they're getting advice via a mobile phone.
Yeah.
Whether that looks professional or not is another matter. But it's the reality of the situation.
Yeah.
Because it's an economic factor. You can't afford to bring the coach or the physio or whoever here.
Yep.
And the top guys can.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is an advantage. You see, Greg has his team here.
Yep.
Often.
Yeah.
Nick has a team around him. And these guys are at the top of the game. Now, they deserve that, and they maybe sacrifice some of their prize money so that they can try and win it. But if you ask us guys that are outside the top 10, there's absolutely no chance I can afford to do that. Even if I wanted to, even if I had a coach, then I couldn't afford to bring him or her.
Yeah.
So it's a catch-22 situation. Do you invest that more money into the support staff, but maybe you still lose first round and then you end up with a minus figure? Because at the end of the day, we're trying to make a living.
Yeah.
So even though you're trying to achieve your highest ranking, you also have to pay bills at home.
It will basically double your expenses for the event. So say you come here, you pay your flight, you may have to pay the hotel at some stage before or after the event, your food bills and all, et cetera. You bring your team, you're paying theirs as well. Like they're not paying their own, you're paying their bills.
Yeah.
So it is, you weigh it up and you gotta work out what's going to be best for you.
Yeah. And it's it's not to say the same doesn't happen in other sports. Badminton and table tennis probably are in a similar situation to us, where they can't necessarily afford that team around them. Golf, they have to pay for their caddies and they have to pay a lot of travel. They play a lot more tournaments than us all over the world. Tennis, similar. They play a lot more tournaments than us and all over the world. And, they seem to be addicted, or there's a culture of wanting to bring a team of people around them. Now, I might be wrong, but lower down that might not happen. I don't know enough about the lower end of the tennis, because this is where a lot of the stories have been coming from recently about there being a massive disparity between the lower tennis challenge tour type players and the top of the game. So that's an interesting one. And I sometimes feel we have that a little bit in squash, especially in the women's game now that we've got equal prize money on the top events. I think there can be a massive gap between how much the top female players are earning and then the girls that are trying to make it and the ones playing lower down. There's actually quite a big gap between the earnings potential. I mean,
but between the ladies in the main draw competing for
just the top sort of 10 players, I feel there's a bigger gap appearing. There's a lot more mid-tier 100k, 70k tournaments for men than there are for ladies. So that sort of bridges the gap for the earnings. I mean, I should have probably gone through and had a look at the female earnings. I don't know if you can actually look.
Yeah,
you have to be on individual profiles.
We can get those stats for next time as well.
But it'd be interesting to see what the viewers think about this particular topic, because it's an interesting one. Money in sport in general is an interesting one. Obviously, football I follow pretty closely, and that's gone out of control. I mean,
it's off the scale.
It's even in the last 3 or 4 years, it's become really, really unbelievable. When you think Sanchez has just signed a deal, it's 450 grand a week.
Pounds.
Yeah.
£450,000 a week.
A week. Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Mate, just give us 1 week of your wage and sponsor the tour, would you?
Yeah. Or I'll live for 10 years. I mean, it's literally that ridiculous.
Yeah.
But that's the huge amounts of difference in money, and that's the difference. That's sport though for you. You know, at the end of the day, we're providing entertainment. The more people that want to watch the entertainment, the more money that's going to be in the sport. Football's obviously probably the biggest in the world, and therefore it owns the biggest share of money, sponsorship money, revenue, and everything like that. So, does it deserve it? Yes and no.
Yeah,
it's an interesting one.
Yeah,
but one that we could debate for a very long time, I think.
Yeah. Okay, and moving on to topic number 2 for today's Comments from the Couch podcast is technology in sport. It's a very interesting topic. Moving on from the money in sport, the technology in sport, it links very closely. In this day and age of, information in every type of activity and sport that we do, it's, I think technology in sport it's paramount to, especially for squash moving forward. The more data and information that squash can record, give to the viewers, the listeners, put up on the screen, players can sort of see for their own use what they can take away from technology and how they can implement it in their training. I mean, it's a big topic, and it's quite an interesting one. So, I mean, it's used in a lot of sports, and I mean, at the moment, football's trying some new things. Is that right, Daryl?
Yeah, well, the VAR system's coming into football, which is a video ref to assist what's going on in the play. Obviously, we were just talking off air about cricket, with the Hawkeye type stuff, and again, like, there's a lot of debate at the moment whether it's helping or hindering the sport. I always thought as technology as improving a sport, and there is obvious ones for that. Again, football with the goal line technology, there's been so much controversy with goal line technology since 1966 when the ball did clearly cross the line in the World Cup final. But yeah, that's an obvious one, because that gives a definite answer. To something.
It does.
In squash, we obviously have introduced the video review, so that's still very much up for debate. You can watch it on a video and disagree with the person sitting next to you. Yeah. There's not a clear...
It is still very subjective.
Of course it is. Yeah, it's very subjective. Whoever's watching can see it one way, someone else can see it another way. But that's where the refereeing is. We're trying to help the referees. They do it within rugby. They're trying to help the referees with the video. That's fine, and that's a good example of technology trying to be used in the right way. Stats is another one, which as you touched on, I think is hugely important within sport. I mean, you look at the successful American sports like the NFL, the NBA, golf within the States. The stats that they have available are beyond belief.
Yeah.
Everything is covered. Everything is covered.
Yeah.
And, I follow golf intensely, and you can't imagine the stats that go on. I've been to watch live golf, and you've got a guy there who literally walks out to every drive, measures every drive through satellite, the exact distance, the putts, how many percentage, and how many feet of putts they've made every day.
To the millimetre.
And it's every player. It's every player. It's a huge thing. So within squash, I think, we're doing a few exciting things which we can touch on now. I think we asked a few of the PSA boys whether we could talk about it within this podcast, and they said, yeah, go for it. So behind the scenes, I'll talk about the first one because I was actually the first person to wear it, but the heart rate monitor. I used it for my match in COC against Simon, and a few of the other guys used it as well in their actual matches.
Yeah, and it's just a regular heart rate monitor.
Strap it around, but the data was then not data. Data was fed back to was fed back to a computer. Data was fed back to a computer to a guy that was on the side of the court somewhere out the back. Live heart rate.
Yeah.
And that was obviously very interesting for those watching, because like Beach was on the side, he was watching the live heart rate versus watching the squash.
Yeah.
And you could see how hard I was working. Now, I must admit, I probably wasn't at my fittest, peak fitness, being not only 35, but just after Christmas and New Year.
Oof.
But what was interesting was that technically my max heart rate should be 185.
Yeah.
And I think I topped out at 195.
195.
During the match.
And who were you playing?
Rosner,
okay. Yeah.
But probably the most interesting thing was that we played for 75 minutes, and my average heart rate was 174.
Wow, that is a high average heart rate.
Obviously, taking out the gaps in between play and what have you.
Yeah.
When we were on court,
yeah,
average was 174. So we're trying to implement and trying to get the players on board with showing bits of heart rate during matches. So not all the way through, not having it as a constant where you can just watch it, and we don't want to give too much information away to opponents or whoever, but I feel like it would be great at like 8 or in the 5th to just flash up a heart rate, and for non-squash people to appreciate how hard we're working, because on court and through the TV it doesn't actually come across sometimes how hard we're working.
No. And a lot of players make it look easy too. I mean, you're a smooth mover. There's a lot of smooth movers out there. And for the average Joe who comes and watch squash, it does look easy sometimes. And I think if you're a sports fan in general, you play sports or you've used a heart rate monitor before, flashes up on screen, you can see how hard those players are running around and putting effort in. Everybody can relate to that. But they're trialling and testing quite a few other things here at the Swedish Open. Is that right?
Yeah, they are trialling. So they did some tracking of the players' movement. I know they've done that the last few days, and that gave some interesting stats. I think Tarek and Castagnet obviously played a 96-minute epic in the first round, and they tracked the movement of both players, and I think it was around 5k in total movement. So that might not seem that much if you compare it to football, where the guys run sort of like 10 to 12k in a match. But the one thing I would say about that is that it's 5k worth of lunging, running backwards, sidestepping. If you imagine running a 5k, but just not running forwards. So every other step you're doing a lunge.
A deep lunge.
Or then running backwards, or running, lunging sideways, or full extension lunge and then little steps back. That's actually quite difficult and quite hard.
That is, yeah.
The other one they were doing was percentage of time the ball was in play.
Okay, this could be interesting.
So this was interesting. And I think, if I remember rightly, it was 68% of the time of that match, the ball was in play. So just over 2/3. So if it's a 96-minute match, obviously that's probably 65-ish minutes. So an hour and 5 minutes, the boys were playing. They were rallying.
Continuous rallies, basically.
Hard, continuous rallies for an hour and 5 minutes, non-stop.
Yeah,
obviously they're stopping and having a rest in between each point, but that's no more than 6, 7, 8 seconds. Yeah. So that's an impressive stat. For me, that's an impressive stat because when you compare it to tennis and other sports where the percentage is obviously a lot lower, that's the ball's in play in tennis. 4-hour match, it might only be in play, I don't know, 25 minutes.
Yeah, max. I'd say max.
So
I think that kind of stat and those stats that you just mentioned, that's where squash can sort of use it to our benefit to say, look, this is a product we've got. This is how hard the players are working and what's going into it. There's definitely some stats there that we can, squash as a product, as a sport can use.
Definitely. And then obviously linking that back to the money in sport, I think what I didn't mention before that's just occurred to me is that maybe, on a positive side of squash, not, us not being paid in as much as we want, for example, that there's an opportunity there. Because I feel that at the moment, with the TV coverage that we got, the TV product that we have, which is really, really, really good, and the coverage we get in different countries, I think actually our product is undervalued. I think the quality of our sport is undervalued, and the opportunity for sponsors and people to get their brand out there is actually a really good value for money option.
Oh, I agree 100%. Yeah.
So that's a positive for squash. It's a negative. We don't get paid as much as we want because as players that impacts on us financially, detrimentally, because I want to get paid more. I want more money, more
Where's
problems.
Cash?
But yeah, on a positive note, I think going forward that we can really try and exploit is not the right words, but
there is huge potential.
Yeah.
To sort of get sponsors, get new companies on board, and we talk about the whole Olympic thing, and it would be amazing to get into the Olympics, and that would be a bit of a game changer. But for the time being, these types of stats and trials and testing that we're doing, it's only going forward.
Yeah, I'd be interested to hear what people or what viewers, because I'm hoping that we've got a lot of squash fans listening to this, or the people that are listening are obviously avid squash people, because we're essentially just talking about squash really. It'd be interesting to see what stats they would actually like to watch, because I'm assuming a lot of them watch squash TV, and it'd be interesting to see them as a fan say to us, look, we like to watch, the heart rate might be a good one, but it might also be interesting. Other stats might be interesting to people, and I wonder what stats people find interesting from squash, because I know certain stats in other sports that I find interesting in football and golf.
Yep.
Might be different to someone else, but as a fan of that and not a player, then it's interesting. And the players obviously use different stats to their advantage in other sports to improve as a professional, but the fans might enjoy different stuff more than the actual pros using it. So I'd be interested to find out.
Yeah, if the listeners out there, if there's certain things, certain sort of information you want to see in stats thrown up on the Squash TV screen, let us know. I'd like to see sort of racket head speed. I don't know how or if they can do that.
Yeah, that's an interesting one.
Mid-match, that's going to be difficult. Just to see, because you see it in golf where somebody, and there's somebody with such an easy swing, someone like Ernie Els, but incredible club head speed.
Yeah.
Where it looks easy.
Yeah.
That's
a good one. In golf, they put these little things on the end of your club, and it measures a lot of that stuff.
Okay. That could be something to look at in the future.
If you put something on the end of the racket that doesn't really affect the weight or balance too much, that's again, this is good. This is it's interesting stuff, because technology is moving so quick that can we apply stuff that they use in other sports to our sport? Obviously budget permitting, but it would be that's a good one. That would be really interesting. Obviously technology in sport is moving lots and lots of sports forward, and I think I'm happy to see that squash, we're trying new things, we're introducing technology into our sport all the time, which is great to see, because you have to embrace it, and I think it's the way of moving forward and giving the viewer a better experience all round. So that is technology in sport. If you've got any more comments from the couch is the hashtag. Please leave us some feedback on that. On to my favourite bit of the show, and that is Bobby's quiz. Oh yes,
Bobby's quiz.
So today for Bobby's quiz, I thought, seeing as we've been talking and comparing with other sports, I thought we'd do a few quiz questions based on squash versus other sports.
I like it.
Type of thing, with a few adaptations, of course. But we've got 5 questions, all with bonus points. There's always bonus points. There's always bonus points up for grabs. So let's get started. We are at question 1. Of course we're at question 1. It's the start. Okay.
Bring it.
Calories burnt. So the options we have: squash, biking, cycling, football, running, tennis, basketball, and yoga.
Which sport
burns the highest calories, and then
per hour?
Per hour it is. I can give you the calories as well per hour.
Well, we're on a squash podcast. I'm sticking to my strength here. I'm going with squash.
Yes, that is the right answer.
At
how many?
1,024 calories.
Oh my word. Every time we do the podcast, you get so close to getting the right answer without getting it.
What is it?
1,034.
Oh! No way.
Yeah. 1,034 calories burnt.
That's such a good guess.
Per hour.
But, geez, that's... what's the next closest?
So, obviously that was an easy one. So, if you can give me what order would you go for?
I would put...
What would you put next?
I'd put football and I'd put running.
Okay. They're 3rd and 4th.
Cycling?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the top 4.
Okay.
So, cycling is... Guess?
Cycling, 987.
Not bad. 905.
905. Next one, football, I'd say 880.
Very good guess. 862. Doing decent here.
Next
Running.
one, running, 760. Please tell me.
776.
Oh my god.
You get one right soon. Tennis. Tennis is the next one. I just want you to, I'm actually enjoying
Tennis,
you guessing the
tennis. I'll go
calories.
with 666.
689.
I'm in the ballpark.
Basketball.
620.
689 is apparently the same as tennis.
Oh,
689
okay.
again. And then yoga.
Yoga. See, I'm not a big yoga fan.
You know what it is though?
Yeah, I've heard about it.
Yeah.
I'll go with...
It's basically glorified stretching.
500. Hot yoga?
Yeah, no, this is normal yoga where you just sort of
almost meditation
lie
yoga.
down.
Stretching yoga.
Stretching yoga, yeah.
I'll go with...
sit there and...
42.
Not far off. 215.
215, okay.
Yeah. Okay, so...
Go squash.
Like, unbelievable guesses, really.
Jeez, that was close.
They were all close.
If anyone got closer than me in that guess for calories for squash, let us know. I'll be impressed.
Squash, obviously the first one. We burn the most calories. We're the best.
Of course we are.
We are the best. Okay, second question. Longest match. Now, I'm not going to do tennis versus squash because obviously it's going to be tennis. But I wondered if you could tell me, well, this is actually a test of your knowledge.
Oh, here we go.
What is the longest squash match ever played? Do you know the answer to that?
The longest squash match ever played. I actually think it's fairly recent. Between Sean Deliere and Leo Au.
It is indeed. Do you know the length of it?
Length of the match. Let's go with 2 hours 20.
2 hours 20.
2 hours 20.
So 140 minutes.
140 minutes.
Sure about that?
I mean, I've almost cracked 2 hours, so surely those boys have cracked well over 2 hours.
Well over 2 hours.
Are we pushing? Are we pushing through?
Like I've played 141, I think.
Okay.
So
Are we up at like 160?
Yeah. Keep going.
180?
No, not 3 hours. No one's cracked 3 hours
What
yet.
do we got?
So I'm not giving you any bonus points because you're miles off the 140.
No, that's no.
170.
170 minutes.
10 minutes off 3 hours. Apparently the last game, I should have done my research, but I think the last game was like an hour and 8 minutes or something.
Wow.
And it was only, I don't know, the game scores weren't that close. It was like 11-4, 5-11. I don't know. Someone's going to have to tell me what actually went on, whether it was a lot of lets or what. But yeah, that's the official record now, which beat, do you know what it beat?
That beat, one of the players was Jahanga.
Yeah.
And I don't know the other player.
It was, I think, Gamalawad. I think.
Okay.
But it was 166 minutes was the previous record.
Beat it by 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Wow.
4 minutes.
Okay.
So in tennis, as a comparison, do you know the longest match in tennis?
John Isner
Yes.
and Nicholas Mahut.
Mahut. Do you know how long that was?
Oh.
By the way, it spanned 3 days.
Yeah, it did, didn't it?
Yeah.
Wimbledon. Wasn't it like 68, 66 in the fifth?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
Do you know how many hours it was?
I'm assuming, because it took 3 days, so...
but like, because it was rain and stuff,
Yeah.
that was the reason.
You're not counting rain delays, are you?
No. Actual, like, match playing time.
6.5 hours.
11 hours, 5 minutes.
Oh!
11 hours, 5 minutes.
That's insane.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
So, yeah, tennis sort of smashed us there, but I'm sure it was only in play about 84 minutes.
Max.
18 minutes even. So, yeah, am I giving you... I mean, I'm not really sure. You got... I'm giving you the squash ones.
Involved.
You actually did well there. The bonus... I'm giving you the right answers for both. Bonus points, not quite.
No.
Not quite, but you got the players involved. Okay, as we were talking before, average ball in play time. Squash versus football versus tennis. Can you give me the percentages of each? And the squash one's very recent because I'm only taking it as the last few results that we've done from this week.
So we're going... So is that the order? Squash, then football, then tennis?
I want you to give me the percentages.
Okay.
If you get within 2.5%...
2.5%.
If you get within 2.5%,
get the calculator.
I'll give you the point. So, what one do you want to do first?
So, we were speaking before, it was in play 68% of the time. Is that correct?
That was for
squash.
Tarek and Matthew's match.
Okay.
For that particular match.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's a good indication, but it's the average that they gave me from the matches that have been played so far.
Okay, here at the Swedish Open.
Yeah.
Okay. 68. I'm going to say it's a little bit less. Those boys just grind it out. I'm going to say...
But there was a lot of walking around.
I'm going to say 63% of the time.
Every time.
63% of the time.
Every time. 75%.
75%?
Yeah, so far. So...
Wow. I had no... Yeah. I would have thought less.
Pretty decent, that.
Yeah. Okay. Squash. So squash for this tournament, 75%.
I reckon it'll be a bit lower, but I reckon it'll be between 65 and 75 for the most part.
Yeah.
Football,
it's going to be up there.
Corners, throw-ins, free kicks, they all stop play.
Oh, free kicks stop play.
Yeah.
80%.
60%.
60%?
Yeah.
The throw-in's so quick, though.
Depends how far
they boot it out the field.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, true. Okay. Yeah. 0 bonus points there.
So, last one, tennis.
See, this... I mean, no offence to tennis players, but...
Yeah, it's way down there.
I'm going to say it's in play for about 20% of the time.
Now, do I give you a bonus point? The actual answer is 17.5%. Oh! Did I say within 2.5?
Within 2.5.
Yeah, but that's not within, is it? It's Like within his 2.49%.
I've missed it,
Yeah.
haven't I?
Yeah.
I can't believe that.
Shame.
Can't believe that.
0 bonus points. You're actually doing pretty terrible this quiz. The last question, Bobby's quiz, question 5. Can you tell me the 10, well, I say the 5, the 10 highest money earners in professional sport in 2017?
Wow. See, I could be horrendous at this. I'm going to say the footballer you mentioned earlier in the podcast, I can't remember who you said, who was earning £450,000 a week.
No, he's not even up there, mate.
Oh, my.
No, because this isn't prize money, so this is also endorsements as well. So can you name the 10 biggest earning sports stars?
I'm going to give you in no particular order.
No, go for it. Just go for it.
LeBron James.
Yes, he's number 2.
Federer.
Yep, he's number 4.
Ronaldo.
Yeah, number 1, Cristiano Ronaldo. Doing well.
Messi.
Yeah, he's number 3. So you got the top 4.
Oh, man, I'm smashing this.
Yeah.
It's only going to get worse from here. There's a basketballer.
Come on.
So I've got the top 4.
You got the top 4, yeah.
Wow. Let's say
come on.
Tiger Woods. Is he still up there?
No, he's not. He's not in there. I mean, he was definitely up there for a very long time.
Rory's
number 6.
Rory's number 6.
Yeah, he's one. I'll give you a little bit of a clue. What have we got left? We've got three basketball players. Basketball's massive.
Lewis Hamilton.
Good guess. Number 10. 3 more.
3 more. Steph Curry.
Steph Curry's right. He's number 8.
Come on.
2 more.
2 more.
I don't think I would have got these 2, to be fair.
There's a basketballer in my mind. I can't think of his name, which doesn't help at all, does it?
No, you probably need his name.
Nah, got me.
Kevin Durant.
I wouldn't have got that.
No.
What number?
He's number 5.
Wow. Okay.
And then 1 more. NFL. Any NFL? I actually wouldn't have got this.
Brady.
No, that's who I would have guessed as well. Andrew Luck.
Nah, never heard of him.
Number 6. But that was the Forbes list from 2017.
Okay.
So, hang on, we've missed 1 more. There's another one. Sorry, I missed number 9.
Basketballer?
Yeah, you won't get him either. Massive beard.
Massive beard. Oh, shaved head as well.
Yeah.
And he's a bit older.
James
Harden?
Yes, James Harden. Good one. That is the end of Bobby's quiz. I think Cameron did pretty well there. I'm not going to count up all your points, but
I want to how the listeners went if they.
Yeah, pretty good. I think pretty good. Okay, that is the end of Bobby's quiz for this week. So we come to the end of another podcast. Comments from the Couch has finished this week.
Yes, another good episode in the bag, Bobby.
I think so. I enjoyed this one. I enjoyed it. Very relevant topics.
Yep.
Modern topics, but ones that we could talk about all day, to be honest.
Yeah, and I mean, they're big. They're hot topics in the world of squash. Money in sport, squash, and technology in squash. In sport, they're hot topics at the moment, and it's. I'm happy we got them out of the way here. Lovely to hear everyone's views. We actually have a new Twitter page. I say it's not a page, is it? A new Twitter account, which Cameron has set up. Yes. So comments from the couch, obviously hashtag comments from the couch. The Twitter handle is at CFTC podcast. What does CFTC stand for? Comments from the couch. I got it. Okay, perfect. So we have a new Twitter account, which you can contact us on. Yep. We'll both be... hopefully you'll give me the password and I can go on it as well. Yeah, I might just stitch up on that, but we'll see. So if you get any dodgy responses, it'll be from Cameron. All the other ones will be from me. But yeah, you can engage with us on that, and we will see you next time on another episode of Comments from the Couch, the Squash Show. Ciao for now.